Little minute. It's been a hot little minute. Since the last time I actually came on here. Actually, I think I did do a stream this week at some point. Speaking about, certain events that was happening, with a certain pastor. I think you guys kind of know, the allegations, but as of right now, we're gonna treat them as such, right? Because they are allegations after all, right? Like we're not gonna just condemn someone or say that this person did exactly what it is that they've been accused of if we don't have any proof just yet. We can have our opinions, but even then, even with having our own opinions, we still have to leave, you know sort of like an avenue for a person to really like prove their innocence or their guilt or whatever it is. And then we can go from that situation, right? Like we could feel however it is that we feel about a certain individual, whoever that individual is or may be. We can feel how we want to feel about them. But at the end of the day, w- we can't just, you know, convict somebody, especially when we don't really have any evidence, when we weren't there. It's just one of those things where it's like, all right, it happened. From where we stand, we might have our opinion, but we don't necessarily know. But yeah, I came across something today, right? So on my ride home, you know, I came across this story. Very unique. Not even is it a story? I don't even know what to really call it, right? So evidently, Mayor Adams was doing this speech, right? And in the speech, Mayor Adams was addressing black people that wanted him to step down, right? I don't really want to sit up here and use the word right now, right? I don't want to talk about it. Whenever I am on camera, I try to, on camera and off camera, I really try to stay away from that word. I do use it from time to time. I'm not going to sit up here and cap to you guys. I do use it from time to time, but I feel like with a lot more discipline, I get to the point where, what I mean, where I minimize, you know, um, even further, the amount of times that I use this word. But so I was sort of listening to this speech, right, that Mayor Adams was doing, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't hear the whole speech, right? I didn't hear the whole speech, but there was a part in particular that I heard in the speech, and I was taken aback would be putting it lightly, right? But Mayor Adams addressed these N words, right? We're not gonna again trying to stay away from the term, but that want him to step down, right? And the crazy thing about this is this, right? I have heard a host of different people. How you doing? Fatone. Hopefully I'm saying your name correctly. How you doing? Big up yourself. Welcome to the street. But I've seen a host of different people wanting Mayor Adams to step down. It seems as if people don't like corrupt officials, whether those corrupt officials be black, whether those corrupt officials be white, uh, whether those corrupt officials, whatever race, creed they come in. A lot of people are going to kind of call it what it is, right? Especially when they see, certain evidence that people are corrupt, right? That officials are corrupt, right? And he's been having these allegations looming over his head. And of course, you guys may or may not know, the Department of Justice were pretty much told to, I believe they either dismissed the case or they dismissed it with prejudice or without prejudice. I don't quite know, but um, but anyway, that's not the reason why we're here, right? How's it going, Jackson? Jackson Michael. Dank VR says he says something about snorting Skittles. Okay. Somebody's asking me what am I selling? Selling nothing, brother. Selling nothing. Selling good vibes. Um, but yeah, so Mayor Adams decided that he was gonna get up there on stage and he was going to take the path of least resistance, right? And Mayor Adams decided that he was going to target a group of people where he felt like there was going to be any backlash from what it is that he was saying, right? Because it seems as if it's the easiest group of people to target, right? So he gets up there and he talks about these Negroes, right? Which is the word that I really didn't want to use, but for context, we're going to use it. Um, that are wanting him to step down. Now, again, again, um, these are not the only people that are asking for Mayor Adams to stand down. As a matter of fact, um, there's an overwhelming amount of people, right, from all different races, right? And it just so happened that some of the people who don't see Mayor Adams for who he is tend to support him. So the majority of his support, I'm telling you right now, um, you know, if he has some family that supports him, right, is going to be coming from the black community, straight up and down, right? um, I've seen and heard so many different people asking the mayor to step down, asking the mayor to step aside because of the allegations that are looming over his head, and because of you know the dodgy people that he has that have been associated with him. Um, and it's just rather unfortunate that he decided to go up there, right, and say what it is that he said. This ain't gonna be something where I'm gonna come up here and lash out or I'm gonna get emotional about the situation. And that's another thing that I feel like as blacks we gotta kinda, um even when these things do happen and as outrageous as they are, right? Um we need to have more of a controlled response. And we need to put a stop to certain things that people do and certain things that people say. Mayor Adams, I'm gonna tell you right now, he if he's going up for reelection, which I do believe he is, he ain't gonna be winning this election. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna tell you that for free. I will tell you that for free. Uh, but yeah, it's just really rather unfortunate because even all right, when you think about it, right? When you look at this objectively, you think to yourself, well, it's like, all right, well, Mayor Adams happens to be a mayor of color, right? But he's in New York. He's a mayor of New York, and he just happens to be a a different shade than the majority of the other mayors that are that have been in New York and that have been in the United States, right? It just so happened. One would think that a person, right, who really cares, right, about his community would somewhat conduct himself with a level of decorum. I don't know. Uh, he would conduct himself in a better way, right? Let's just simplify it. He would conduct himself in a way where it doesn't leave a bad taste in people's mouths, right? He would conduct himself in a way where, yes, you can be fair, yes, you can be for the people, but you are the mayor of all people. And you're not going to get up there on stage and feel like it's okay for you to single out this group of people, right? And feel like there's not going to be any backlash, or maybe this is something that you did deliberately to feel as if it was going to stir up some backlash. And maybe you want to appeal to a certain audience, right? I'm not entirely sure what the thought process was with Mayor Adams saying those things. I didn't quite understand it. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I think there's so many other ways that you could have went about doing what it is that you did up there, and it's rather unfortunate that that's what you decided to go up there and say. It was ill-advised. Ill-advised, ill-advised. It was ill-advised, and one would think that again, you know what, subjectively, right? I guess from my perspective, this is what I'm saying. But even in an objective perspective, you would expect, I think most people objectively would expect a mayor to conduct himself a whole lot different. Like you wouldn't see Barack Obama say something like that, You just wouldn't see Barack Obama do or say something like that. It just wouldn't happen, right? Kamala Harris wouldn't do something like that. It just wouldn't happen. It's very ill-advised. I really want to say it was very stupid. But at the end of the day, did he have a chance of winning re-election before um this the what I was gonna call it a scandal. I was tempted to call it. I was this close to calling it a scandal. But before what it is that he said recently, was he gonna win? No, he wasn't. I'll tell you that for free. Right? Is he gonna win now? Emphatically. Hell no. Um, but yeah, you know, Mayor Adams, not entirely sure what the thought process was. I'm not entirely sure if he really cares about his political career, but then again, we do live in some very unconventional times where politicians are doing and saying some things that it's almost as if it doesn't matter what it is that they do or they say. But the thing is, don't try to score points off black people, Mayor Adams. That's not a good look for you. Um, and I think the biggest thing that I would say in regards to this is this. When it comes to things like this, how do you respond? Well, we respond by withdrawing our support. And I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't in support of this guy for quite a while. Um, Especially regarding a lot of the people that was surrounding him. You know what I mean? Um, that pastor, I don't know if you guys remember that pastor. I think he was in Brooklyn or Harlem. I don't remember exactly where the pastor was, but there was a pastor that considered Mayor Adams his mentor, and let's just say, to put it mildly, like the pastor was basically robbing the people in his church, and I do believe he was convicted of that as well. Of course, not at gunpoint, but he was taking people's life savings, things like that, basically scamming them. And he would mention Mayor Adams being, his role model, and there was certain other things, certain other people that were surrounding him as well. You guys look into it, the whole story, right? Like, this isn't for me to really tell you guys. It's for you guys to actually look into it yourself. And of course, you're not responsible for things that people around you do, but there's also that school of thought that birds of a feather actually flock together. You understand what I'm saying? And all of these people are saying or are affiliated or associated with you, and it just so happened that you know, allegedly got your hands caught in the cookie jar. You know what I mean? But yeah, someone in the chat says free Palestine. Um, okay. Yeah, so big ups to Palestine, big ups to Israel. I don't know the whole story when it comes to Palestine and Israel. And I was telling myself, Thrifty, how you doing? Thrifty's in the house. Always a good time when I see Thrifty. Um, yeah, I don't know the whole story in regards to Palestine. I don't know the whole story in regards to Palestine and Israel. And I told myself today, as a matter of fact, earlier today I was hearing I don't know if it was Instagram or Threads or something like that, but I was strolling through Threads or Instagram, and I don't even remember the actual video that I saw, but it was a clip that I saw, and they were referring to some of the thing. Oh no, it was a message that I saw that I actually it was under something, but it was this message that I saw, and the message was say, "Oh yeah, yeah, I remember it now, completely remember it now." So um, I believe it was somebody that had a T-shirt on that said, um, if you're a Christian that supports this administration, I'm more Christian than you." And on it said the person said that he was an atheist, right? So it's all of this stuff was written on his church. So he's saying that he's more of a Christian than people that support Trump administration. Um, and he's an atheist, right? And it was this white guy as well. It was like this older white guy with this T-shirt on, and I thought it was cool. A lot of other people in the chat thought it was cool. And then after, because you got to go to the comment section to see what's popping in the comment section. Um, you know, Sometimes you are going to see some bots, right? And some of the times those bots are going to like their own posts as well, like, and they'll have 1,000 other bots that do the same thing to kind of push it to the forefront. But I started seeing some comments, and there was people talking about Gaza and the things that were happening in Gaza and the things that were happening with Palestine. Um, and I remember seeing certain things, and it's like people were kind of posting things saying that if you support um genocide, then you're not Christian, and this, that, and the third. And I think you guys already know, anybody that kind of watches or frequents this, what it is that we do here, you guys know I'm not a religious person at all. I'm a spiritual. Like, I consider myself spiritual. I mean, we all spiritual. Like, there's no such thing as somebody being more spiritual than another. But I'm more spiritually aware than I am religious, right? So when I saw that, I thought to myself, well, I mean, these quotes are all cool. Like, you know what I mean? Because I don't support genocide. I don't support any of that sort of stuff, right? But when I saw it, I was like, yo, I should inform myself more about what it is that's happening over there. Um, but if I'm honest with you guys, I am completely clueless in regards to what is happening on the Gaza. So the only thing that I do know and that I don't agree with is that Trump, he kept putting up some like uh I saw like this AI thing where Trump put up this AI saying that he's gonna basically uh take over Gaza. You know what I mean? To sum it up. Um b- but the thing is, I think the people that are there, I just want them to live in peace. Like, I can't support any person or group of people that are targeting kids or that are targeting um people of color or human beings for that matter. You understand what I'm saying? So when it's all said and done, my whole thing is I just want a resolution. You know what I mean? And I want people to be able to live in peace, because last I heard there was a ceasefire. So, I'm not entirely sure what it is that's going on, but I think people need to look inside themselves and find the human being in them and learn how to coexist with one another. Um, because we're in danger of having history to continue to repeat itself, and in danger of passing down hate from and trauma from generation to generation to generation. Um, and if we don't stop it at some point, like, what's going to happen in the future? And maybe some people don't really care about what it is that's going to happen in the future, but like how things worked out from how it was in the past. I think we definitely have made a lot of progress, right? Certainly in recent years. And then, with the current administration, especially what it is that Elon Musk went on stage and he did, I found that very disgusting. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much influence you feel as if you have. You know, um, and people are responding to these things. People are responding to what it is that Elon Musk did. When I'm looking at the Tesla stock, right? Because I kind of got back into like looking at the stock market and all of that sort of stuff. I don't participate as much as I once did at some point. Um, and with my recent trades, I realized why it is that I kind of fell back off of doing this sort of stuff, because the market can be very unpredictable. But yeah, when I'm looking at the Tesla stock, I see how the Tesla stock has tanked. Certainly within the last 2 months, for sure. It's tanked. Within the last month, it's tanked. It's went down significantly, right? And that's because people are actually protesting the divisive nature of you know what it is that this administration stands for. Um and it's very difficult to really hide who you are in this day and age. Like, it's just better for you to just be organic. It's better for you to be authentic. It's better for you to just be who you are, right? So, um, when it's like we've always had ideas that there were things going on behind the scenes, but now we're seeing it out in the open. We saw Trump get up there on stage and he said that he called the Ukraine president, he said that he was a dictator, and he said that he started the war. Not the country that invaded his country, but the country that he's the president of. And the crazy thing, I think his name is Zelensky, he's saying that he would step down, right, from being the president if it meant the war would stop, right? And that's never going to be something that Trump would say. That would never be something that Trump would say. You understand what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. And then when you see, even the White House sharing that uh long live the king, right? In regards to Donald Trump, it's like, what's going on here? What exactly is it that's going on here? Um, but yeah, not a big fan of him, not a big fan of Mayor Adams, not a big fan of Elon Musk either. And I don't make any qualms about that. But I'm in terms of Mayor Adams, I feel as if Mayor Adams feels as if it's okay to target people where he feel as if there's not going to be much of a black backlash, right? um where he feels there's not going to be much of a pushback, and he could just do it and get away with it because it's okay. Like, it's disgusting. Straight up and down. Rick Rude has a snap. People don't care until the traumatic things happen to them. Thrifty simplicity, absolutely right about that. Especially in how desensitized we're becoming as a society, and hopefully at some point we arrive at some sort of realization, where we become a little bit more empathetic towards other people, right? Nobody's perfect, and of course people are governed by their self-interest, but at the same time it's like, you know just because you're governed by your own self-interest doesn't mean that you have to try to stop other people from um thriving. But yeah, in terms of the traumatic things, you're right about that, because I see it a lot of times, right? Especially, all right, if you look in hip hop culture, people will sit up there and they'll sing smoking on this person, smoking on that person. They'll sit up here and listen to songs, right, dissing dead people, right? Myself included, but I try to stay away from the words of it, and I haven't done so in a very long time either. But yeah, you know what I mean? I'm guilty of it as well at some point. Certainly not to the extreme of a lot of other people, but nonetheless, it is what it is. I hold my hand up, and I've decided that I was going to do better in regards to that. But anyway, we'll listen to it and we'll champion the person that's talking about all the bodies that they catching and this, that, and the third, and destroying their community, right? And you know, talk bad about people that are bringing certain things to light. But then when it's all said and done, if it happened to somebody that you care about, now it becomes a problem. Now it's an issue. But when it's somebody else's pain, you don't really care, right? It doesn't affect you, or so you feel, right? So now what's preventing other people from looking at your situation with the same disdain, with the same level of distance, with the same distance, right? Like, people are just looking at, I don't care, man, whatever. You know what I mean? Your dog just got hit by a car, right? And it hurts you. And you could insert whatever or take away whatever it is from that. Let's say something happened to your dog, or let's say something happened to somebody that you really care about. What say other people are not empathetic to you, and other people are like, yo, smoking on doggy pack. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. Um, so I think in terms of human beings, we have to, conduct ourselves a little bit, a whole lot better, right? And what Mayor Adams did was he tried to strategize. I don't know I don't know why he felt the need to say, "Oh, Negroes wanted him to step down." Bro, the entire city wants you to step down, brother. Um, the entire city wants you to step down. And, you know, it's disappointing because you, again, as a black person, like we all know what it is that we've been through as black people. You understand what I'm saying? We all know what it is that we've been through, even the people that don't want to hear it, right? Because you'll have people that they don't want to talk about racism, or they think that black people complain about this, that, and the third. But the fact of the matter is this here, right? Whether or not you want to hear about it, or whether or not you feel like you're affected by it, or whether or not you're tired of it, just know that our ancestors were tired of being in those fields picking cotton. Just know that our ancestors were tired of getting hosed. Just know that our ancestors and us even now, right? We're actually tired of the systemic racism that we see, right? And then the way that how they use things like DEI to really target, and we know exactly who it is that they're talking about when they're talking about these things, right? So yeah, when it's all said and done, if you don't want to hear about it, that in itself is also perpetuating the problem as well, because you're showing your absolute, lack of empathy or lack of care to other people that are going through certain things. And it's not a matter of, you don't have to sit there and try to champion or try to be on our side or anything like that, but it's just one of those things where it's like you wouldn't want the shoe to be on the other foot, right? You wouldn't want the shoe to be on the other foot. You wouldn't know how to deal with it if the shoe was on the other foot. You understand what I'm saying? So when it's all said and done, yes, these are things that do need to be addressed. And shame on Mayor Adams for getting up there and feeling as if he has to sit up there and talk bad about black people, especially as being a black man as well. And you didn't represent black people and as a matter of fact, you an individual when it's all said and done. And we're all individuals. But at the same time, we can't be naive enough to fool ourselves into believing that people aren't thinking or reconsidering who it is that they're going to vote for in the future based on what it is that you did while you were in the White House. White House. I'm thinking about Obama for some reason. While you were the mayor of New York City. And speaking of the White House, right? Speaking of the White House, Barack Obama represented himself so well, right? That Barack Obama was elected twice. Barack Obama is the most popular president of the 21st century, bar none, bar none, right? Bar none. And Barack Obama was for the people. Barack Obama was for the people. Barack Obama had a level of empathy. Barack Obama had a heart. Regardless of what it is that people felt about Barack Obama was a man. He's a human being. You understand what I'm saying? I'm very disappointed in it, but it's one of those things where it's like, this is modern day politics. These are the things that's happening right now. And politics in itself is a dirty game. We all know that. we all know that. Uh, what up? What up, DJ Scoot? What's good, man? Hey, man, I'm still trying to break an addiction so bad. Um, it's so hard. DJ Scoot, you know what to do, brother. You know what I mean? You got to look within, man. We spoke about this a number of times, DJ Scoot. You understand what I'm saying? But it's just about how bad you want to break whatever habit it is that you're going through, right? End of the day, Bob Marley said it best when he said, "None but ourselves could free our mind." You understand what I'm saying? So you got to think to yourself, all right, well, if I care about myself, if I care about myself, is this what somebody that cares about themselves does to themselves? Are these the habits of people that care about themselves, right? And I know a lot of times people may feel as if they don't have anybody to talk to, and that it may sound like I'm being a little bit insensitive or whatever it is, but bro, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I wasn't the person that I am sitting in front of you right now. You understand what I'm saying? I wasn't. I was really going through it. Of course, I wasn't. I'm not gonna say I could relate when it comes to that, but in terms of the green stuff, yeah. Anything else, no. Not, wasn't big on the other stuff. But when it's all said and done, it gets to the point where you have to grow tired of what it is that you're going through, right? You got to understand that um like your frame of being, your vibration, your mind, right? The people that you surround yourself with kind of perpetuate and keep you trapped in that cycle as well. But the thing is, who has the power to break free from it ultimately has to be you, right? You got to will yourself out of it, whatever it is that you're going through, brother. You know what I mean? And I do, again, wish you all the best. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to enable you, and I don't want you to feel as if, um, because yeah, in terms of you coming here and I'll gladly, with arms wide open, welcome you. You understand what I'm saying? But I would much rather welcome you back when you're absolutely clean. You understand what I'm saying? I would much rather you go and get help, not even watch this anymore, but just go get cleaned up and do what it is that you need to do for your family. And if you just so do choose to come back and say what's up, that's great. If you do choose to give props, com- completely up to you. But when it's all said and done, the most important thing, especially in regards to this, is that you go where you need to go to get help. If you feel as if you need to seek help from somebody, right? Because it'll be very difficult for me to help you through the screen. I mean, I could say these words, I could encourage you, but at the end of the day, ultimately, I can't make the decision for you. Ultimately, you have to make the decision for yourself. And then a lot of times, people could sit up here and they could preach and they could talk to you until they get blue in the face. And it's not just you, DJ Scoot. I'm using other scenarios as well. But talk to people as if until they're blue in the face, and then people may be even inspired in the interim, like, yeah, you know what? That's absolutely true. And then they may, for a day, they may be on a straight and narrow for a day or two. And then they go back to doing the same exact things that they were doing before. Same exact things. And then it's like, yo, bro, why are we back in square one again? So my whole thing is I don't want to go back to square one. And I don't want you to go back to square one. But because I don't want to go back to square one, it's one of those things where it's like for a baby, right? Right? You teach your baby, things as they grow up, they get older. Um, you don't expect to continue to teach them things that you taught them. Like you don't expect it. I don't expect to teach my 7-year-old how to crawl. She's already mastered that. And she's graduated from that stage. Right? Now she's at another stage now. Right? So it's like she's not gonna start walking and then decide, oh yeah, I'm gonna go crawling again. To the point where she's running and it's like, now you gotta go crawling again. No, that's going backwards, right? So the objective is to move forward. And we're not gonna judge you based on the stage where you were at when you were in that frame of being, because that may have been your path and where it is that you needed to be at that point, right? But now you gotta start getting past that point. You get what I'm saying? It's like, all right, cool. I went through the struggle, right? I went through it, or I'm going through it, but I can't go through it and then come back because there's no progress there. There's no growth there. And where there's no progress, I think that's the biggest. Um, how can I put this now? Because none of this, I'm not writing this stuff down, right? So I think that's like the biggest roadblock that you could hit, right? I mean, it's not the best analogy in the world, but you don't want to overcome obstacles, right? Move forward in life just to go back to square one and undo everything that you've done. You dig what I'm saying? So we, myself included, right? Myself included. None of us is perfect. I'm not here to sit up here try to give you this ultimate poise or anything like this, right? But we ultimately have to decide what it is that's best for us, right? And a lot of times that may not be easy. Maybe sometimes you are going through something where you feel as if this is the only thing that understands you. But then once you start using certain substances, you got to understand that you're no longer in control of yourself. You've allowed the substance to start to control you now, right? So here you are. You invited the substance in to share your body and share your experience with you. And then the substance decide, oh, hold on. Whoa, I could make him do whatever I want him to do. And then the substance becomes the boss. You don't want that. You're better than that. And I could tell you you're better than that till you're blue in the face. I know you're better than that, but you got to know you're better than that. Can't go back to crawling, brother. You was there already. You've been down already, right? And all right, so boom. So we talk about the things that we've been through as a people, right? And we kind of touched on that a little bit, right? And we talk about the progress that we made, right, as a people. And we make progress and we still have people that are not really self-aware enough a lot of times to progress even further. And it doesn't have anything to do with money, right? Because money doesn't really make you who you are, right? But think about it. And I'm not here to argue with anybody of semantics or whatever it is, but objectively, if you think about the things that we've been through as a people, like everything that we've been through, from systemic racism, think about it. Every country in the world views us a certain type of way, right? Based on the way that they've been programmed and indoctrinated. But when you really peel back the layers and you look at the fortitude, and when you look at the willpower, and when you look at the perseverance that us as a people have gone through to just make it to this point, just to make it to this point, there's a lot to really learn from that. Because I know, me knowing myself, I know I wouldn't have been able to survive that stuff. You know why? Because somebody gonna try to violate me a certain type of way, and I'm going to respond a certain type of way. I know it off the rip. So my ancestors, right? Our ancestors had to bear that burden, and they did it to a level of perfection, to the point where it's like, thank you so much, DJ Scoot. I appreciate that, man. But this right here, bro, you didn't really have to do that, but I do thank you for that, man. Appreciate that. Super thanks. But they did it against all odds. Like they wasn't supposed to make it. You understand what I'm saying? They wasn't supposed to make it. Think about everything that they've been through, and they still survived those things, right? Because they decided, yo, you know what? All right, so maybe not in my lifetime. Maybe my grandkids gonna be free. Maybe my great grandkids gonna be free. Maybe my great grandkids are gonna be free. You understand what I'm saying? So just just having the frame of mind, right? And whatever spirit it was that was guiding them, right? In order for them to lay that foundation so that we could be here, right? It's priceless. We could never repay them for that because they survived. that stuff just so that we could be here, so that we could progress even more and and become better. You understand what I'm saying? Until this whole game is even and equal, we will not stop until it's equal. You understand what I'm saying? Until the laws are not targeting, right, a certain group of people, and certain group of people are being, how could you put this now, incarcerated at a ridiculous rate when other people that do the same crime are not. Because in order for this thing to work, there has to be balance right across the board. There has to be fairness right across the board. Right across the board. And that goes without saying. But the point that I'm trying to make is this: if you think about everything that they had to survive, and nah, they wasn't taking no drugs while they was doing it either. Right? They wasn't taking any drugs. Um, they had to go through these things and lay there. All this trauma. We're not even going to get into all of the trauma, right? I know about it. If you don't know about it, you may want to go ahead and read about it, because I get too descriptive and too graphic when I'm talking about that, right? So if you want to learn more, go ahead. You're welcome to learn more. If you think about everything that it is that they went through and everything that is that they survived, and you think about the things that you're going through right now, and you compare them, it's like, huh. That's why recently I kind of stopped talking about Trump so much, because it's like this, right? At what point did we ever have it easy? At what point was the game rigged for us? At what point did we never have to come overcome the odds? At what point, right? So this is just the next chapter. And the next challenge for us is to build ourselves up even more so that we can overcome this. So that we can create that balance that we talk about. So that we could have another black president. So we could have a female president, right? And not just because they're black or just because they're female, but because they're the best fit for the job. You understand what I'm saying? And Barack Obama did it so proud the first time when he went up there, right? We almost had a sec. We almost had the round two of that with Kamala Harris, because she definitely was going to go up there and she was definitely going to serve the middle class, and she definitely was going to be a president for all Americans. But we dropped the ball on that, and now we got to deal with this. And what we seeing is blatant corruption on a level that I've never seen before, on a level that I've never seen before. And we got to call a spade a spade. I just seen something today, yesterday, as a matter of fact, because it's 33 a.m. right now, Eastern time. But I just saw something yesterday where Trump got up there, right? And somebody asked him, "Do you think, still think I don't know verbatim, but do you still think Zelensky's a dictator?" And he goes, "I can't believe I said that. Did I say that? I can't believe I said that." Right? Not verbatim, but look it up. It's out there. And just last week, he was saying that this guy was a dictator and siding with Putin. Just last week, he was saying that. They let the world's richest man, right, into the United States Treasury, mm, to access the information of your your grandmother, you, your mom, your husband, your wife, you. This is the guy that has so many government contracts. And you know what? I don't even want to make this about them, to be completely honest with you. but everything sort of just intertwined so perfectly. The fact of the matter is this, man. We have to have that fortitude. And with everything that we're facing and that everything that we're up against, we can't afford to be um living in despair. We can't afford, as a matter of fact, this is something else that I want to talk to you guys about, right? There's this one song, and I think you guys need to listen to this song. As a matter of fact, I know you guys should listen to this song. It's by Nas and Damian Marley from the album Distant Relatives. And the name of the song is Despair. I think it's spelled Dispear, right? Which is a player double entendre for this spare and despair, right? Check out that song. That song explains everything that it is that's going on right now. It explains everything that's going on right now, right? And the fact of the matter is, especially when I don't know if you guys can understand a Jamaican, what he's saying, right? Junior Gong, Damien Junior Gong Molly. But what it is that he's saying in the chorus. But if you need help translating that, for sure, I'm your guy when it comes to that. Um, but yeah, man, this was a refreshing episode. I needed this as much as you guys did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really needed this. I really needed this. But Thrifty, thank you so much. As usual, I gotta make some sort of appreciation post for you, Thrifty. You as well, DJ Scoot. I really appreciate you guys. But Thrifty is just another level the amount of support that you show. And I thank you so much, for showing so much support for the channel. Especially when I'm not as consistent as I should be. You know, sometimes I get caught up. I have other things that I'm doing, and then um kind of directing my time and energy to people that I don't believe appreciate it as much as they should, right? Because my time and my energy is a very valuable things, right? And we talk about time as how we kind of not personify it, but how we conceptualize it, right? But it's like I have to direct my energy into certain things, right? Not people that don't appreciate it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tapping in once more. Appreciate it. Thank you for hitting the like button. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, DJ Scoop, for sending that super chat. Super thanks. Uh, Hold on. No, I'm clean 10 months. I'm struggling with online addiction. You spit facts. Either way, man, addiction is addiction and it works. And big congratulations, man. I got a job actually, graduated in high school, got my diploma. Big up yourself, man, for that. Um, yeah, big up yourselves for that, man. Thank you so much. And thank you again, Thrifty. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.